Good day! Today we will have our new topic. But before that, again, kindly follow me on my Facebook page and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you! Okay, so we are now in our lesson 4 and we will talk about the properties of operations. So let's proceed. Properties of operations. In adding or multiplying integers, you have to consider the different properties of integers. Okay, we have 7 properties of operations. We will talk about it one by one. First is the closure property. As you can see, dito sa ating picture, meron tayong smileys. So, sinasabi lang dito na smiley plus smiley plus smiley is equal to a smiley. So, ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng closure property? Closure property. So, meron tayong dalawang uri ng closure property. First, closure property of addition. Examples. 7 plus 12 is equal to 19. Negative 15 plus 12 is equal to negative 3. So, when we said closure property of addition, for any integers a and b, a plus b is an integer. This is closed for addition since the addends are integers, the sum is also an integer. Next, closure property of multiplication. 5 times 9 is equal to 45. Negative 3 times 8 is equal to negative 24. So when we said closure property of multiplication, for any integers a and b, a times b is an integer. This is closed under multiplication since the factors are integers, the product is also an integer. So kapag sinabing closure property, kapag ang dalawang number ay integers, dapat ang sagot ay integer. So kapag may nakita kayong ganitong uri or ganitong examples ng equation, ito ay halimbawa ng closure property. It's either in addition or multiplication. Next is the commutative property. So as you can see, meron tayong given picture. Catherine plus Daniel is equal to Daniel plus Catherine. Or, let us represent in mathematical expression, Catherine is the letter A and Daniel is the letter B. So, kapag mathematical equation na yung commutative property, this will become A plus B is equal to B plus A. So, ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng commutative property? Second, commutative property. Again, it is divided into two. Let's talk about first the commutative property of addition. Example, 6 plus negative 2 is equal to negative 2 plus 6. Kung mapapansin nyo, ang 6 ay positive at ang 2 ay negative. Tapos, sa kanang side or sa right side ng equal sign, pinagpalit ang posisyon ng negative 2 at 6. Kapag magkaiba ang sign ng dalawang number, katulad na napag-aralan natin sa operations on integers, ima-minus natin ang dalawang number, and then copy the sign of the bigger number. So, 6 minus 2 is equal to positive 4. And then yung 4, kaya siya naging positive dahil ang 6 ay positive. So, since tulad lang sila ng equation, pero pinagpalit lang ng posisyon, ganun pa rin yung sagot. So, 4 is equal to 4. Another example, negative 8 plus negative 3 is equal to negative 3 plus negative 8. Since magkatulad ng sign ang 8 at 3, which is the negative sign, ipa-plus natin ang dalawang sagot o ang dalawang number. So the answer is negative 11 is equal to negative 11. Again, hindi magbabago ang dalawang number o ang sagot ng pangalawang numbers dahil pinagpalit lang natin ang posisyon ng negative 3 at negative 8. So when we said commutative property of addition, for any integers a and b, a plus b is equal to b plus a. The order of addends will not affect the sum. So kapag pinagpalit natin ang posisyon ng a at b, sa kanang side ng equal sign, hindi magbabago ang sum. Next, commutative property of multiplication. Example, 7 times negative 5 is equal to negative 5 times 7. Sa rule ng multiplication, kapag magkaiba ng sign ang dalawang number, the answer is negative. So the answer here is negative 35 is equal to negative 35. 10 times 6 is equal to 6 times 10. Parehong positive ang dalawang number, so the answer is 60 is equal to 60. So what is commutative property of addition? What is the commutative property of multiplication? For any integers a and b, a times b is equal to b times a. The order of factors will not affect the product. So katulad sa addition, kapag pinagpalit ang posisyon ng a at b sa right side ng equal sign, katulad nito, hindi magbabago ang product. Next is the associative property. As you can see dito sa ating picture, orange plus apple plus banana is equal to orange plus the sum of apple plus banana. So ano lang yung pagkakaiba sa left side ng equal sign at sa right side ng equal sign? Ito ay ang posisyon ng dalawang bracket. So kung dito sa left side ng equal sign, ang nasa loob ng bracket ay orange plus apple. Dito naman sa right side ng equal sign, ang nasa loob ng bracket ay ang apple plus banana. So let us represent these fruits in mathematical equation. A, or the sum of A plus B plus C is equal to A plus the sum of B plus C. So ano nga ba ang associative property? The third property is the associative property. Let us talk about first the associative property of addition. Example, the sum of 3 plus 7 plus negative 4 is equal to 3 plus 7 or 3 plus the sum of 7 plus negative 4. So, paano ba natin to sasagutan? Una, let us apply the process of PEMDAS. P stands for the parentheses. So, ibig sabihin, sasagutan muna natin ang nasa loob ng parentheses, which is the 3 plus 7. So, 3 plus 7 is equal to 10. And then, i-bring down natin yung plus and then a negative 4 equals 3, bring down yung 3 plus, katulad nito, and then sasagutan natin dito yung 7 plus negative 4. So, since magkaiba sila ng sign, therefore, ang sagot ay positive 3, since positive ang sign ng 7. And 7 is the bigger number. So, let us now answer this one. 10 plus negative 4 is equal to 3 plus 3. So, since ang 10 at negative 4 ay magkaiba ng sign, we will subtract 10 by 4. So, the answer is 6 plus 6 because 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. Another example. The sum of negative 2 plus 8 plus 5 is equal to negative 2 plus the sum of 8 plus 5. So, ganun pa rin, apply the process of PEMDAS, negative 2 plus 8. Different sign, so we will subtract. So, the answer is positive 6, since 8 is the bigger number and 8 is positive. And then, bring down plus 5 equals, bring down natin yung nasa right side ng equal sign, which is negative 2 plus, and then, add 8 plus 5 is equal to 13. Titingnan natin kung tama ba o tulad ang sagot ng 6 plus 5 at ng negative 2 plus 13. So, 6 plus 5 is 11, and negative 2 plus 13 is also 11. So, what is associative property of addition? For any integers a, b, and c, the sum of a plus b plus c is equal to a plus b or A plus the sum of B plus C. Different groupings of addends will not affect the sum. So kapag magkaiba o pinag-iba natin ang group ng dalawang numbers or ng tatlong numbers, hindi magbabago ang sum. Next, associative property of addition. Associative property of multiplication. Example, the product of 4 times 5 times 7 equals 4 times the product of 5 times 7. So, apply the process of PEMDAS. I-multiply muna natin ang 4 times 5 dahil iyon ang nasa loob ng bracket. At dito sa right side ng equal sign, ang una nating i-multiply ay yung 5 at 7. So, the answer is 20 times 7 equals 4 times 35. 20 times 7 is equal to 140. And 4 times 35 is also equal to 140. So that is equal. The product of negative 2 times 6 times negative 4 is equal to negative 2 times the product of 6 and negative 4. So let us multiply negative 2 times 6 is equal to negative 12. And then bring down negative 4 equals negative 2. And then multiply 6 and negative 4. The answer is negative 24. So negative 12 times negative 4 is equal to positive 48. And negative 2 times negative 24 is also equal to positive 48. So what is associative property of multiplication? For any integers a, b, and c, a times b times c is equal to a times b times c. Different groupings of factors will not affect the product. Next is the identity property. So as you can see sa ating picture, meron tayong apple. Or sa isang plato, meron dalawang apples. Represent the number 2 plus. Sa isang plato, wala tayong nakikitang apple, so iyon ay equal sa 0. So the answer is 2. 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. Ano ba ang identity property? The fourth property of operations is the identity property. Again, it is divided into two. Identity property of addition. Example, 15 plus 0 is equal to 15. 0 plus negative 8 is equal to negative 8. So what is identity property of addition? For any integers a, or for any integer a plus 0 is equal to a. The sum of any number and 0 will always be equal to the number. The identity element of addition is 0. So kapag sinabing identity property of addition, lahat ng number na ia-add sa 0, ang sagot ay yung given number. Halimbawa, 100 plus 0 is equal to 100. 20 plus 0 is equal to 20. Next is the identity property of multiplication. 32 times 1 is equal to 32. 1 times negative 15 is equal to negative 15. Ano naman ang identity property of multiplication? For any integer a times 1 is equal to a. The product of any number and 1 will always be equal to the number. The identity element of multiplication is 1. So kapag naman sinabing multiplication or identity property of multiplication, lahat ng number na imumultiply sa 1, ang sagot ay ang given number. Halimbawa, 100 times 1 is equal to 100. 20 times 1 is equal to 20. Next is the inverse property. Okay, dito sa ating picture, may mga pagong sa loob ng aquarium. Iyon yung put in or ipinasok ang mga pagong sa aquarium at let us represent this as the positive A. and then plus, and then remove. So, nawala ang mga pagong. So, let us represent remove as negative a or negative sign. So, a plus negative a is equal to 0. Ano nga ba ang inverse property? So, the fifth property is the inverse property. Additive inverse property. 10 plus negative 10 is equal to 0. Negative 2 plus 2 is equal to 0. Kapag sinabing inverse property or additive inverse property, for any integer a plus negative a is equal to 0. The opposite of the given integer is called its additive inverse. The sum of a number and its additive inverse is 0 or always 0. Kapag ang isang number o ang isang positive number ay inadd or pinlas sa negative number niya, ang sagot ay palaging 0. Halimbawa, 100 plus negative 100 is equal to 0. Next, multiplicative inverse property. So kung kanina ito ay additive or addition, dito naman ay multiplication. 3 times 1/3 is equal to 1. Negative 5 times negative 1/5 is equal to 1. So when we said multiplicative inverse property, the reciprocal of the given integer is called its multiplicative inverse. The product of a number and its multiplicative inverse is 1. So kung dito sa additive inverse, ang kabaliktaran ng positive 10 ay negative 10, dito naman sa multiplicative inverse, ang kabaliktaran ng positive 3 ay 1/3. Palaging magiging denominator ang given whole number at ang sagot ay palaging 1. So kapag ang given ay 100, imumultiply natin yung 100 sa 1 over 100. And then the answer is 1. The sixth property of operation is the zero property of multiplication. So what is zero property of multiplication? Here's an example. Negative 98 times 0 is equal to 0. 0 times 12 is equal to 0. For any integer a times 0 is equal to 0. Any number multiplied by 0 is always equal to 0. So, lahat ng number na imumultiply sa 0, ang sagot ay palaging 0. Next picture. This is for the distributive property. So, 2 times the quantity of 4 basketballs plus 3 footballs. So, kapag sinabing distributive property, distribute, ibig sabihin, ipapamigay natin. So, paano ba natin i-distribute ang given? So, yung 2 ay i-distribute natin sa 4 basketballs at sa 3 football. So, ang magiging sagot ay 2 times the 4 basketballs plus 2 times the 3 footballs. Yung plus, ito yon yung nasa loob ng parentheses. So, pinagbukod lang natin o dinistribute natin ang balls, ang 4 basketballs at ang 3 footballs sa 2. So, nadoble yung 2 dito. Isa sa basketballs at isa naman sa footballs. So, paano natin yung i-represent sa mathematical equation? So, ganito yon. So, A times the property of or times the quantity of B plus C is equal to A times B plus A times C. So, kung makikita nyo, yung A ay inisa-isa sa B at sa C. And then, kinopya lang natin yung operation which is the addition. Okay, the last property is the distributive property of multiplication over addition. Examples. 6 times the quantity of 4 plus 8 is equal to 6 times 4 plus 6 times 8. Again, dinistribute natin ang 6 sa 4 at sa 8. Kaya naging 6 times 4 plus 6 times 8. So let us now answer. So ganito yung magiging sagot niya. 6, bring down natin yung 6 and then 4 plus 8 is equal to 12 equals, i-multiply natin ang 6 sa 4, so that is 24, and then bring down yung plus sign, and then 6 times 8 is equal to 48. Kailangan, tulad ang sagot ng 6 times 12 at ng 24 plus 48. So the answer, 72 is equal to 72. Next example. Negative 5 times the quantity of negative 3 plus 10. So yung negative 5, i-distribute natin sa negative 3 at sa positive 10, katulad nito. And then yung plus dito. So magiging negative 5 times 3 plus negative 5 times 10. So again, let us apply the process of PEMDAS. Bring down yung negative 5. So negative 3 plus 10, the answer is positive 7, or negative 5 times 7 equals negative 5 plus negative 3 is equal to positive 15. Bring down yung plus. And then negative 5 times 10 is equal to negative 50. Again, kailangan maging tulad yung negative 5 times 7 at yung 15 plus negative 50. So the answer, negative 35 is equal to negative 35. So what is distributive property of multiplication over addition? For any integers a, b, and c, a times the quantity of b plus c is equal to ab plus ac. Adding first before multiplying or distributing the factor to each addend will give the same result. So, kapag ang sinagot nyo ay ang process nito, ang sagot dapat ay 72. And then, kapag naman ganito yung process, ganun pa rin yung magiging sagot, which is 72. So, alinman sa dalawang process ang isasagot nyo or ang gagawin nyong solution, ganun pa rin ang magiging sagot. So, that is the distributive property. Okay, let us now summarize what we have learned in this lesson. Remember, we have 7 properties of operations. The first is the closure property, commutative property, associative property, identity property, inverse property, zero property of multiplication, and distributive property of multiplication over addition. Ang closure property hanggang sa inverse property ay nahahati sa dalawa, which are the addition and multiplication. So, dapat hindi kayo malito sa given properties of operations. Again, sana ay may natutunan kayo sa ating lesson ngayon. Thank you for watching. If you have questions or suggestions, feel free to comment below. Enjoy learning mathematics. God bless us all.